Today we're going to talk about 10 ways to use leftover resin. We've all been there. You're wrapping up your project and you just have a little bit of resin left in your cup and it's quietly sitting there judging you. Please don't waste me. Please don't waste me. Instead of letting it go to waste, which I try never to do, here are 10 fun, creative, and slightly weird ways to use leftover resin. 1. Coasters. If you've been watching me for a while, that was probably a no-brainer. Coasters are the MVP of leftover resin. All you need is a mold and you just pour it right in there. Here's one. I had some leftover green glittered resin. That will become a coaster. And just so you know, just because it is a coaster mold, it's really just a circle mold and you can turn it into like an ornament or whatever you want to use it as. And it works because they're flat molds, they're forgiving. Whatever you throw together is probably going to look pretty good. But you can experiment with colors, glitter, swirls. Whatever you have on hand is going to work. Generally, they're easy to prepare, hard to mess up, and even unusual combos usually turn out pretty great. And as a bonus, they make a great gift. Before I get too far into the list, be sure to wait until the end and see if I cover what you use as your favorite go-to for leftover resin. So tell me what it is, and if I do cover it, let me know what is your favorite. And if I didn't, be sure to leave that down in the comments below so we can all learn from each other. 2. Jars. I have this great jar mold. It is currently my favorite mold because I have been making little jars for people to keep quarters and stuff like that for when we play left, center, right, or some other game. You can just have some coins in there. And I'm going to show, I've made a bunch of jars. Some have been leftover resin, some they were intentional. And one of my favorites is actually my leftover jar. It's this lady swimming. And what I like about it is you can put interesting things on top. I'm working on one right now. It is not finished, where it's for a friend of mine and it's a beach scene. It's almost like an island scene. So I did a graduated color on the bottom. So it kind of looks like the ocean and it just screws on perfectly. Like you can't mess it up. Like it almost becomes a little piece of art. And in this one, this is the first time I've done this. I've extended stuff outward. Normally I will sort of pile stuff up in the middle, which is fun. But this one I thought, no, I'm gonna give it a little bit more of, I don't know, a scene because she loves the beach. So there she is on the beach. There's shells, there's some little teeny shark teeth on here, but I took a charm, a dolphin charm and a turtle charm, and I put a little alcohol ink on them, put some UV resin over them, and I built it up. And even the dolphin with the splashes coming out of the water, I did that with UV resin. So really fun. This is not done yet. Remember, I did tooth fairy jars, and here are a couple other ones. Here's the lady swimming. I did this one built up with the bonding UV resin with a turtle that I also molded out of resin. But they're great. I'm doing this. This is sort of my go-to gift at the moment because anyone that plays, like that comes over for the holidays and stuff like that and plays, they need a place to hold their coins. Number 3, don't think I'm weird, teeth. Yep, I said teeth. I have 2 molds for teeth. One I just recently ruined, but this one's been hanging on for quite a long time. The other one was more like real people teeth, and this has like the fangs on them. See? And I do it because, you know, why not? I just started doing it one time and then it kind of got a little bit out of hand. If you're just joining us, by the way, not real teeth. These are resin teeth. So I'm not collecting real teeth, covering them in resin. I'm actually molding them in a mold. One day after we moved to Florida and my craft shed was ready to move into, a friend of mine came over and she was going to help me organize it. So she was going through a box and pulling stuff out. And she did a double take and she's like, what's this? And I casually replied, those are my teeth. And then she's like, why do you have 2 jars of teeth? So here it is. I've made them different colors, whatever resin I happen to have left over. So some of them have pink teeth and green gums. We've got yellowish, white. I mean, you can make them look like whatever you want. Like I believe I did like a pigment powder here, then poured some white in there. You know, they could be glittery, whatever you want it to be. They can be fun. Or you could go just traditional teeth. That's fine too. So I have 2 jars of very colorful teeth. I have not figured out what to do with them yet, but I figure one day the idea is going to strike and I'm going to be like, that is what I need to do with those teeth. I've been kicking around an idea of a fish with some humanish teeth. I thought that would be fun. Maybe for Halloween, I'll do a ghost and it has teeth, a full set of teeth. Until then, they're just gonna sit on a shelf, all weird and full of potential. And people can keep asking me, why do you have all these teeth? Number 4, mini canvas art. Go to the Dollar Tree, pick up a mini canvas or pick up a big one. It doesn't matter, whatever you wanna do. Whenever you have the leftover resin, just drip it right on, drip it onto the canvas, see what happens. Put it aside till you have some more, put some of that on there and just create who knows what. That could be your piece of art. Or it could be a background. You could decoupage an image on there. You could, you know, maybe it's a dragonfly, maybe it's a flower, maybe it's a person. You just cut around and decoupage it over and they have this crazy background. So many things you can do with it and make it fun. It's just low pressure. I mean, you don't even have to think about it. And just let it evolve until you decide that it's done. Number 5, bookmark molds. I don't have any, and it has been on my list to get some bookmark molds because they are perfect. They're very thin. but they're long, and it is the perfect thing to put leftover resin into. Again, that can create a background if you wanted to put like a word, like use some vinyl lettering or some stickers, put a word in there or something that's inspirational, like read, be creative, whatever you want to put in there. And then you can cover with a little bit more of clear resin and you will have these awesome bookmarks. So stay tuned. I think I have some of those in my future. And why it works so great is because they make great gifts. If you need some additional craft fair items, perfect. It's a blank canvas. Use some dried flowers, add some glitter or some metallic flakes for a unique and personalized touch. Anything you want to do is perfect. Number 6, keychains. Keychains can be made out of any mold. You could make keychains out of those teeth. You can make keychains out of, I have this flip-flop mold. I think it was for ice cubes. I put teeny tiny shells in there and just some clear resin that I had left over. And once I shine this up and add some color for the strap of the flip-flop, it's going to be cute. You add a little eye screw into there and then you can hook it right onto any kind of a keychain. And they have all kinds of keychain blanks, so it's perfect. And kids love putting these on backpacks. It's good, obviously, for your keys. Again, great gift, giveaways, stocking stuffers. If you need some kind of a prize for a game or something, perfect. 7, magnets. This, same thing. I have this little turtle that I just threw extra resin into a mold. Now I have a turtle. Or again, you can do the flip-flop or anything. All you do is glue on a magnet right onto the back of it, stick it to the fridge or wherever you want to stick your magnets. Obviously, you can make them seasonal, whatever you want to do. 8, Mosaic Bits. Okay, hear me out. There's a couple different ways you can do this. You can pour it like onto a mat, or if you have if you have a mold with sides on it, if you want to kind of contain it a little bit more, you just want to make sure that it's a thin layer so that you can cut it after, either with a knife, with scissors before it's perfect, before it's totally hard. That is perfect. Or another thing you can do is just make drips. Whether it's with UV resin or regular resin, you just do colorful little drops and make sure you do it like on a silicone mat or even on parchment paper, something you can peel it off of so that you can pick them off, you can save them, and then like you could decorate a vase with it, or you can decorate a pot for outside, like a flower pot. You can decorate the back of like a phone case, anything. It'll be really cool. And if you use if they're clear, you can use a bonding UV resin, otherwise you'll be needing to use some kind of glue. 9, buttons. Yes, they have button molds. And I'll have examples of some of the molds and stuff down in the description so you can check those out. But the buttons can be used for clothes, for bags, or just embellishments. You know, whether it's in an art project or somewhere on an article of clothing, wherever you want to put them, you can just sew them right on where you want them. And the great thing about it is they're functional and fun. So you can have as much fun with these buttons as you want. Color, theme, you can do holidays, you can do like Halloween buttons or Christmas buttons, whatever you want to do. And finally, number 10, jewelry. Also a no-brainer because jewelry molds are generally pretty small. And there's 2 ways you can do it. You can have a jewelry mold, which is pretty small, and then you just put your resin in there and you'll have a finished piece of jewelry. That's a very easy project. Or if you don't want to use a mold, you can use a bezel. And what I mean by a bezel is one of these. They could be any size. And here's a little tip. If you're ever at a craft store, a Michael's or a Hobby Lobby, always check their clearance section. Because a lot of these I bought on clearance. You can pick them up for like 50 cents or $1 or whatever. And they always come in handy. I did a gnome pendant with one of these before. And they come in all kinds of shapes, sizes. Super cute. Here's one with some pearl trim around there. And then here's a pretty big one. Now, if you don't want to put it in a mold, you don't want a traditional bezel, here's a fun one. Use a beer cap. Use that as a front, and then you can either drill a hole and put a jump ring in, or you can glue a bail right onto the back. Pretty fun. And this is a bail. They too come in all kinds of shapes and sizes. Here we go. And you just end up gluing it on there, just like that. And like this happens, whoops. This happens to be a very big one. You'd probably want to go smaller, but that's all you have to do. Then you put a chain or a string around it and you got yourself a necklace. Definitely a money-saving option. And for all of these ideas, just remember that this is resin that would be normally just going to waste. Use it. Use it for something. And most of these, except maybe the teeth, make great gifts. But you might have some weirdo that likes teeth too that would love to get it. Maybe you have a dentist friend. I don't know. So when it comes to ideas on how to use leftover resin, don't overthink it. Just make something, anything. It could be artistic, it could be functional, it could just be fun or a little crazy, weird, wacky. These are not the only 10 ideas that I have. I have lots of different ideas. This happened to be the first 10. So I need 2 things from you. 1, I want to know what you think is the best idea. And 2, is there another idea that you use that I didn't happen to mention in this list? Leave that down in the comments below. I can't wait to hear what you do with your leftover resin. So if you want to see some of those projects, be sure to check this out and I will definitely see you over there. But remember, life's too short not to shimmer, so grab your glue gun and your glitter. I'm gonna go to the comments right now.